everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Cassie Elle Talks. In today's episode, I'm sharing a word game with you called Typo by Cwali. Typo is a really cool game, plays 2 to 6 players, and it is just a deck of cards. You and your friends are all going to deal each other a hand of cards that have a letter on them, and you're going to play these cards from your hand out onto the table and try to spell out words. If you can't spell words, or if you spell words incorrectly, you get negative points, and the player at the end of the game with the most positive points is going to be the winner. So let's go ahead and take a look at this super cool game. I really like it, called Typo. All right, everyone, this is Typo by Cwali. I have the game set up already here for 4 players. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 players. Each player was dealt out of our deck of 64 cards, 12 cards. If there had been 6 players, each player would get only 10 cards. The game comes in this really cool box. This is actually not the only box, there's a couple of different kinds, but this is the one I have. And it also comes with rulebook for 4 different languages. Once you have the game set up where each player is going to get their 12 cards, you also are going to lay out 4 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to find a dictionary in your house and hand it to whoever you'd like to be as the start player. Once all of this setup is ready, then you're ready to play the game. The way Typo works is each player is going to take a card from their hand, they're going to reveal it, and then they're going to place it in one of these 4 rows. What you're trying to do is spell out words in each of these rows, and if you cannot spell out a word in a row, then you're going to end up, eventually scooping up cards, and those cards are going to be negative points. So you want to be the player at the end of the game with the most points. Play your cards, spell as much as you can, and that's how you're going to achieve that goal. So at the beginning of the game, each player is going to take one of their cards. Let's say we've chosen these cards and they weren't picked at random, and reveal them all at the same time. At the beginning of the game, you go alphabetically, so we have B will be the first card to get placed, then B, then D, E, I. So we start with this letter B, and what we're going to do is we can place this card as the player who has chosen this on this row, on this side of the row, or on this side of the row, in whatever row we want. Whatever row we do play the card in, though, we have to spell a word out once we've played it, starting from this side forward. So if we put a card here, we can do so. We have to say a word, though, that has B and E in it. So we could say believe. The next player would go, and that's D. So they could put a letter or put their card here and say a word like doing. Or they could put it over here and say oddity. So it doesn't matter what side of the row you place the card on, you just have to make sure that you are going to say a word that starts and moves that way. We have all played our cards. Now we're all gonna go ahead and pick a new card to play and reveal them and continue on. If at some point a player has a card that they can't figure out where to place it, let's say this was like a forced play and obviously you can't have a word with JN, what they would have to do is take this card, find the row that has the most letters in it, scoop it up, put their card down, and those cards are now their negative points. If you get negative points, you are now going to get the dictionary. The dictionary is only used when someone plays a card and they say a word, and there's a little bit of confusion on whether that word is spelled correctly or is in fact even a word. Once all players have used up all 12 of their cards that they were dealt originally, you're going to gather up all of the cards that were used to make negative points, leaving the cards on the table, and then you shuffle all of those negative point cards and deal everybody back out 12 cards. The only difference once that happens, instead of playing cards in alphabetical order, players are going to play cards in counter-alphabetical order. So you would start with Z instead of A and continue on. Let's say at some point someone plays a card and they say a word, and we don't think that word is actually a word. We can ask the player that has a dictionary to look it up. If the word is found to be an actual word, the player that played that card and said that word is going to get 2 extra bonus points. If that word had actually not been a word, though, what they have to do is similar to how you would have to do if you couldn't place a card. You would play your card down and scoop up what was already existing. Those become your negative points, and you actually get 2 additional negative points for saying a wrong word. So if you say a word, make sure you know what word you're saying. Once everybody has played all of their 12 cards twice, the game ends, and whoever has the most points is going to be the winner. That's Typo by Cwali. All right, everyone, that was Typo by Cwali. It's really cool, really easy to learn, and I like that you can play just 2 players or you can play up to 6 players because I find myself often either with a large group or just a small group. I like that you can, even if you wanted to, not just play 12 and then 12 hands. If you wanted to play even longer, you could shuffle yourself another 12 cards and then shuffle some more. Or if you don't want to play that long, you could do just one round of 12 cards. The game is just really cool, has a lot of diversity. I'm really excited about it. Check it out, Typo by Cwali. If you like this video and you want to see more of my videos, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I am on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Cassie Elle signing out with Typo.